on today's video, let's talk about 2020. That is right, we're entering the final month of 2019, and this video is 5 predictions of mine for 2020 next year in Rise of Kingdoms. Some of these things might have a little bit of sprinkles of leaks along the way, others are purely speculative, but hey, I think that we have a lot coming in the next year and there is plenty to be excited for. If you want to hear my opinion as well as voice yours, this is the video. Sit back, slap a like on the video, enjoy it. Hey there YouTube, welcome back to Gekko Gaming. Today, I kind of want to start talking about next year. That is right, we've entered December. This year has been crazy for this channel, for Rise of Kingdoms, for our community. It's been nuts and we are trying to keep that upward momentum for next year. And I'd like to give you guys a couple of my predictions for the coming year. Some of these things might seem a little bit obvious, other things not that obvious, believe it or not. Some of the speculations are purely speculative, others might have a little bit of sprinkled insider information in them. So let's start with the first one, which is probably the most obvious one in my opinion. We should be seeing a lot more legendary commanders coming in 2020. I think that 2020 will be the year when we will see this cycle of commanders and as well as the next one and as well. That means that since the 2 cavalry commanders have come out roughly around the end of November-ish, beginning of November-ish really, it's the second mightiest governor with Attila, we should still be seeing another month worth of mightiest governors. And from there, we really don't know what's going to happen. Usually, what Rise of Kingdoms tend to do is they have 4 to 5 mightiest governors of these commanders, and then they release the next set. If that is to be the case, we're really going to start seeing these new commanders coming in potentially somewhere between the beginning, middle-ish of January, maybe towards the end of January, early February at the latest. We'll see the drop of the 2 new legendary commanders that should be infantry commanders if Rise of Kingdoms stick to the pattern they've been doing with releasing commanders. From there, 2 to 3 months after that-ish, roughly, we should be seeing the Archers commanders coming out. So I'm assuming roughly around maybe mid to end of March, maybe April, and really May being the latest, being the end of this cycle. And then from there, the next cycle of commanders starting somewhere around July and going all the way to the end of December, which would kind of work out, or really the end of January of 2021, which would really work out the same way these cycles have worked out as of right now. So I think we're going to see at least 2 more legendary commanders pretty much every 2 to 3 months in the next year, and they will be specialized commanders for the certain types of troops based on the pattern. Now, on top of that, we should be seeing more releases of legendary commanders through KVK rewards, as well as special event rewards, such as having more of these Seondok type of commanders available, some Ethelfled type of commanders available. I believe that one of the things the devs have talked about is once you finish up your Ethelfled, you should be able to potentially get, what's her face, the Gathering Commander, Seondok, however the heck you say her name, as a commander that you get out of Expedition, potentially, out of those chests. So I think that Rise of Kingdoms have laid a very good ground as to how they release commanders, and we are going to see those patterns continue. KVK commanders, as well as potential civilization commanders, legendary commanders, so forth and so on. If you ask me, what we're going to see more of is we're going to see a little bit more of the specialized types of commanders, troop types of commanders, such as the archers, infantries, cavalry, so forth and so on, as a more regular commanders that come out on the day-to-day, while you're going to see more of the specialized type of commanders of both leadership, conquering, as well as gathering and peacekeeping, coming out through events like KVK, like other different types of events that will come out in the future. And this is going to bring us to our second point. I believe in 2020, Rise of Kingdoms are going to introduce a really big new event. Here's the thing. from my understanding, from the Rise of Kingdoms community manager a long time ago, when we started talking and kind of speculating on what the future of Rise of Kingdoms would be, the idea behind the Osiris League as well as the Lost Kingdom was to have a back and forth between Lost Kingdom Osiris League, Lost Kingdom Osiris League, Lost Kingdom Osiris League throughout the year. The problem here being, these events require a very heavy load of commanders, troops, speed ups, and resources. Speed ups for troops, really, resources for troops either training or healing, and commanders for fighting, and as well as being part of the events like Osiris League. And so it seems like Rise of Kingdoms realized that having this pattern of Lost Kingdom, and then once it ends, Osiris League, and then once it ends, kind of having these 2-season type events with a little bit of a break, kind of like in football, in not American football, in soccer. You have what is the tournament type of game, it's a type of event, and then you have like a bracket type of event, and those alternate throughout the year. Kind of like you have a Champions League and then you have the Premier League. You kind of have those things happen at the same time, but one is more of a table-based, whoever has the most wins and all that ends up winning the whole thing, and the other one has playoff stages and stuff like that. So I figured the idea would be that, but they realized that KVK is a bit too long. People are getting bored very quickly and losing KVK very quickly. Once those level 4 passes open up, it's a crazy fight for a couple days in Zone 5, and pretty much that's it. Very rarely you see a Lost Kingdom fighting in Zone 6, and even there, that's that. And again, Zone 7 fights have really never truly happened. And on top of all that, by the time you get to that point, you've already had some kingdoms drop off of the event and that are bored out of their minds. So I feel like KVK is going to get shortened as a first step to kind of, and we're seeing Rise of Kingdoms going in that pattern, shortening KVK more and more, making it a bit more intense and a bit less painful to an extent. And if it's shorter, then it'll happen more times throughout the year, and therefore you might not necessarily go crazy on a Lost Kingdom. You might even bail on the Lost Kingdom altogether if the event is short enough and the ability to not participate in it doesn't set you back in the game as much as it does right now. A lot of kingdoms still have no access to Zetian, who was a crucial part of Osiris League. And while I do like the fact that those who did win Lost Kingdom did have an advantage, because that was the whole point, it's too big of an advantage. There has to be an advantage for the winners, but not that big of an advantage, and that gap has to be able to be closed eventually. Again, I believe we will see Wu Zetian in Card King in the future, but the fact that she still hasn't come out doesn't really surprise me much. A lot of people are very upset about that, but still, it's a little bit too much. I think we're going to see a brand new event. What kind of event it will be, I have no idea. But we're seeing that Rise of Kingdoms are doing everything they can to keep you more busy, more time. For example, Lost Canyon is an insane addition to the Lost Kingdom. It's actually an event where even if you're stuck in your Zone 4, you can fight for very hard, get very good rewards, and it's truly very fun to do. It's also very expensive gem-wise, but again, if you have the ability to gather gems and or you're a spender, you're going to go crazy on those events, while again, the free-to-play and lower spenders don't get to enjoy that event as much, although you still get plenty of free trials. You definitely need those gem trials to keep going. Some Lost Kingdoms already having that event and reporting them very much enjoying the event. Now, the third point is I believe we're going to see new civilizations, but we're not going to be seeing that many. I don't think we will see more than 2 civilizations come out next year. And even that, I might have a question mark about. Think about it this way. Civilizations are a very, very, very big part of the game. They're not a simple thing to make, and they can be super breaking. They can break the game really badly, as well as they bring a lot into the game beyond just, you know, changing the structure look-alike, and everything changes when you add new civilizations. You need to add a new commander. That'll be the epic commander of that civilization, potentially the legendary commander on top of all that. And so those need to come into the game in some shape or form. So now you kind of try to break that cycle of commanders. I think that After this cycle of commanders, by the time the archers will be done, then Rise of Kingdoms will take a small break from that cycle of specialized commanders for troops, and they'll release potentially new civilizations, which will then have legendary commanders in them that will be part of Mightiest Governor either or Mightiest Governor and Wheel of Fortune, kind of giving us a little bit of a break from the specialized commanders. I think that that's how they'll flavor the new civilizations. If you ask me, we should probably be seeing new civilizations sometime between end of March to mid-May would be like those month and a half time that I would gamble on for new civilizations. Maybe we'll see them as far as next update. I have no idea. That's a pure speculation right there for you. But there's definitely going to be new civilizations. That's not a speculation. How many? I don't think that many. Don't get too excited. The next thing I think we're going to be definitely more than certainly seeing are more researches. I mean, when they added this brand new building that you pretty much put in and that's it, and then there's all these new items that you got to get, it was cool. But they're definitely going to want to add another facet to the game. I think that facet might be something like a peacekeeping facet or something of a neutral barbarian, neutral units, or even, I really don't know where they can take this. They can take this a lot of places. But when you take a quick look at your academy, the academy is already set up to have space for at least two to three more tabs in here. So I definitely don't think we're only going to be seeing these two trees as are the only research trees. And I believe we're going to be seeing at least one more brand new research tree coming out next year. What is it going to be for and how is it going to work? I have no idea. I think if you ask me, it'll be a little bit to do with luck and drop rates. I think that what we're going to be seeing is something like a peacekeeping type of tree and brand new types of barbarians, so that essentially all the way to level 25 it'll be open for anyone, and then you're gonna have to get your researches done to be able to fight the stronger barbarians, as well as get better drops from barbarians by doing research. It's kind of like a gods type of research or something like that. I think we're definitely going to be seeing that happening in this coming year. And finally, a few small optimizations along the way are definitely always welcome. I mean, they already told us at the end of last Soroli's event that they're going to improve it and make it better and make it a little bit more challenge, less of a crazy event that is worth nothing and more of a fun event where they introduced all the blueprints. They introduced a ranking system where people are fighting for their first place, and I see another group of people manage to beat the 157 again. Hopefully by the time this video is up, those numbers will already be old and we'll have newer records. People are really going at it, trying to get all the placements, as many placements as possible. And it's really cool to see cross-kingdom cooperation, Kingdom 103, 196, 177. All these guys, 521, 341, everyone cooperating with each other to get these record-breaking times. This is the kind of stuff we need more in Rise of Kingdoms, and I feel like we're going to be seeing much more of it. Better optimizations for Silk Road Adventure, better optimizations for the Shadow Legion event. We're going to see more of these smaller events that'll add more content and daily stuff to do in the game. And hopefully every week we will get one of these awesome new events in the future. These are 5 predictions of mine for 2020. More commanders is kind of a no-brainer. New and better, a brand new big event coming in to kind of come in into rotation with the Cyrus League and Lost Kingdom. New civilizations, not that many. I don't believe we're going to be seeing that many, but we will definitely see at least one. I am saying we're going to see 2 next year. And of course, a new research tree, at least one of those. And I won't be surprised if there will be 2. And they'll introduce a whole new extra facet. I don't think they're going to increase the level of City Hall. Like a lot of folks think that City Hall level will grow. I don't think so. I also don't think they'll increase the amount of marches you can have. But for example, I definitely know that they're going to be working on something that'll allow you to change your presets of your marches, more presets potentially. Maybe that is something that'll be part of the new research tree. You'll research more military capabilities like maybe bigger armies, maybe bigger, more presets as part of researches that you do. I think those are things that we're gonna see. As I mentioned, again, more researches, and finally more optimizations in 2020. What do you guys think? Leave me a comment down below and let me know. I'm Gekko, I'm out of here. Thank you guys very much for watching this video. I'm still a little bit under the weather, but I'm slowly getting myself back into action. Thank you for being so supportive. Last week was my worst week ever. In the last year, it was the least content I've made. It's the sickest I've felt. It was just a bad week altogether. And you guys, I read all your comments. I've yet to reply to all of them. I will reply to as many as I can, but thank you for being so awesome, smashing likes on videos and all that good stuff, being an awesome, supportive community. And I'll see you guys sooner rather than later. Enjoy the rest of your week and take care as the night sets. Peace.